Hey guys, I'm Chris with the Headlight Revolution, and in this video I'm going to show you how to install an LED third brake light flasher module on your Tundra as part of our Tundra video series. This is a really wild product because it's a two-wire hookup, goes behind the third brake light housing, and it's going to add style and safety to your Tundra. So the way this is going to work is we're going to remove the studs from the third brake light, expose the wiring, and put this thing in line with the power wire for the third brake light. What it's going to do is every time you hit the brakes, it's going to strobe at 20 hertz and then go steady until you let off the brake. That way, every time you brake, everybody's going to notice. To install the third brake light LED flasher in the Toyota Tundra, you're going to need these parts. First, we have a soldering iron to make our connections with electrical tape to finish them. Then we have a ratchet, a short extension, and a magnetic 10mm socket. We're going to use the ratchet and socket to remove one of the trim panels inside so we can drop the headliner, and then the same tool to remove the third brake light from the truck. What we're going to install is the GTR Lighting LED flasher module designed for third brake lights. It comes with T-taps, but we're actually going to solder the connections. Here's a already opened version. You can see that on one side it has double-sided tape for easy mounting, or ears with holes for screw mounting. It's a two-wire hookup and the whole thing is waterproof. This is extremely easy to install. One side goes to the light, the other side goes to the vehicle wiring, and there's even a diagram on the face of the flasher module, so you really can't mess it up. We're actually going to install this up in the roof behind the third brake light. First, we're going to drop the headliner, then we're going to pull the third brake light housing out of the vehicle, install this, and put it back together. The first step in doing the overhead cab lights is dropping the headliner so that you can unbolt the third brake light assembly from inside the vehicle. There's no visible mounting points on the outside. The first step of doing that is removing the bolt that holds this trim panel off. And to do that, you pop this little cover off, and inside there you can see one lone 10mm bolt. Now I'm using a magnetic 10mm socket, which I definitely recommend, not so much for this bolt, but for the two up above the headliner that hold the third brake light housing in place. Now that that bolt is out, put your hands, use your fingers to pry this trim panel off, just get it loose so that we can get the headliner to drop down a little bit. All that we really need to happen by doing this is getting some slack for the headliner to be adjusted. Now let's roll down the rear window and undo the bolts for the third brake light. Before I pull this off, I want to show you what the original brake function does. So when you press the brake, it just comes on steady like that. It's, you know, just like a normal third brake light. But when we're done with it, this is going to strobe and then go steady. If your rear window doesn't roll down, I feel sorry for you because this makes the job so much easier. If your rear window doesn't roll down, you're going to have to do the whole thing while sitting on the back seat of the vehicle and pulling down the headliner. And you might want to actually remove both of these rear trim panels so you can get more access underneath the headliner. But since we can get to it from this angle, what we're going to end up doing is reaching up from behind underneath the headliner and removing one nut about here and here, but from the back side. So we've already got this trim panel loose, so I can pull it down. And I would recommend wearing gloves, especially if you have a light colored headliner. I just put brand new gloves on because I don't want this to get dirty. Even if your hands are pretty clean, it's still very easy to get this headliner dirty. So start from the edge and just start peeling this down. There's a couple clips holding it in place. They just pop down. 4 clips, and you can see them right here. They're just like the clips that hold on all the other trim panels in the vehicle. Now, a word of caution, when you are bending the headliner, A, don't do it for very long, and B, do it as little as possible in terms of angle that you bend it, because it's pretty easy on this type of headliner to get a crease that is permanent. So be very careful. Consider the headliner to be pretty fragile. Now, using our 1/4 inch ratchet with a magnetic 10mm socket, I stress magnetic because after you get these bolts, nuts loose, they're very, very easy to lose up inside the roof. So reach your hand in while putting some pressure on the headliner and find the opening. There's one opening here, and I just run my hand along the inside and I find the other opening. And if you put your finger inside, you can feel the stud and the nut holding everything in place. So now that I can kind of tell where that is, I put my socket up there, and once you get on it, you'll know right away. So now that we have the 10mm nuts removed to hold the third brake light housing on, we just pull it off the vehicle. There's nothing else attaching the third brake light to the roof of the vehicle except the pressure fit of the whole assembly. So just start pulling on it, wiggle it back and forth, rock it a little bit until it comes out. Made a lot of noise, and if you have the stock third brake light housing, it's probably not going to make all that racket. Now, the middle light here is our third brake light. This one and this one on the outside are the cargo lights. So what we're going to do is install the third brake light flasher on the positive wire for the third brake light. The positive wire is green and white, and depending on what year Tundra you have or what vehicle you're going to install the third brake light flasher onto, you're going to have to do your own testing. Find the single positive wire that controls your third brake light and cut it in half, install the flasher module in line, and put it back together. So for us, we have the green-white wire that goes into this white plug, and on the other side, it's a red wire. I can't tell you why it changed from here to here, but that's the way it is. I'm going to actually find the wire back here so that we have some space to work with. So here's our red wire again, which is the one that we want. I'm going to cut the wire in half. I'm going to use a wire stripper to expose the bare metal on the wire. Per the instructions on the front of the module, it says the blue wire goes to the LED and the brown wire goes toward the vehicle. So we've got our wire cut. I'm just going to splice this module in line. So one side goes to this side of the wire and the brown wire goes to that side of the wire. So it just goes in line in series with our power wire for the third brake light. The way that we install this now is you just wrap the wires around, bare wire to bare wire. Blue again goes toward the LED, brown goes toward the vehicle. This kit comes with a T-tap set, but I would strongly recommend just soldering the wiring or using butt connectors, if nothing else, with a proper crimper. I'm going to trim up my connection a little bit. Got some extra wires hanging out. And then use your electrical tape to seal up the connection and make it all safe. Now that the connections for the LED flasher module are finished, put the wiring back into the loom. and then find a good spot under here to mount the module. Like I said, it comes with double-sided tape, so just clean off a section under here, stick it as far back as you can, and reassemble your third brake light. Safely tuck all of your wiring back. Carefully line up the studs that hold the third brake light housing to the roof. Now before you button everything up and put your hardware back together, let's test this to make sure it works. Now that we have everything installed into the third brake light and it's back on the roof, simply put your two 10mm nuts back up, secure the headliner with the clips, tuck everything into the weather seal so it looks good, put your trim panel back on with the 10mm bolt, and this is finished. So here we have the product installed. As you can see, the tail lights work normal, but the third brake light where we attach the strobe module is flashing really quick for a second and then goes steady. And then every time you let off the brake and push it again, it resets that cycle. This is excellent if you need better visibility in traffic or you just want to throw some extra flare onto your vehicle. Now, it's only designed for LED, so if you have the stock incandescent third brake light bulb, I'd recommend replacing it with LED before you do this. Either an entire housing like what's on this truck, or just some LED bulb replacements to replace the original ones. Thanks for watching our third brake light flasher video in the Tundra video series. We do a ton of these videos for your Tundra. Show you new products, show you how to put them in. If you want to see the next one, please subscribe to our channel. We think you're going to love what we got cooking next. And if you want to buy this product, we got it linked in the description below the video. So click on that link, you can get more information about the product and pictures and pricing and everything. It's a great product, super easy to install. We hope that you like what you saw today. I hope that we helped you, and we look forward to joining you with the next video. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.